Hey everyone, I'm Pion and welcome to Radiis. What is Radiis, you ask? I like to call it a turn-based buildings-only strategy game. It's gonna release on the 19th of July, and this is what it looks like. It doesn't look like much, but don't get fooled by the graphics. We have a pretty great strategy game here. There's one major downside: there's no online component to this. There's only single player and split screen, but there's a single player campaign for a bunch of missions, which is pretty interesting, and that's what we're doing here right now. This is, I think, the 5th mission in the campaign or something, and yeah, I played this already, but we're gonna replay it here for the video. And it's pretty fun. So what is this game about? Well, you don't have any units, you only have buildings. You have this hex map and you build buildings. You start with towns, but later you can build camps and towers and castles as well. And there will be more units in later campaigns as well. I saw that in screenshots and stuff already, but I didn't unlock those yet. But all of those buildings have different, well, stats, and they do different things, and they allow you to, do different things, obviously. The goal of the game is to cover or conquer a good amount of the map. The goal for this map is 190 tiles, I think, out of, I don't know how many there are actually. Does it say somewhere? I don't think it does. That's not all of them though. Like, you don't need 100%. You just need a good amount of the tiles to win the game, and you do so by, well, as I said, building buildings. And the trick is that every building costs money. That makes sense. The town, for example, costs 200 gold, and you gain gold by having population. And population is gained by controlling those hexes. So every hex has an actual and a maximum number of population. You can see in the lower right, this grass tile has 100 out of 1,000. And per 1,000 population, you gain 1 gold per turn. So you need a lot of population to build a lot of towns, obviously, as you can see here. And the other buildings are even more expensive than that. But the good thing is that the population will grow, and it will grow depending on the buildings you have. So the town, for example, has a population growth rate of 200 in a range of 2. So every tile in a range of 2 to the town will grow its population by 100 per turn until to its cap, obviously. So there's no more than 1,000 people on this tile, and no more than 200 on this rocky tile. So the lower a tile, the better, and the different types of tiles are better as well. So grass is pretty good. The best is a fertile tile, or at least the best I've counted so far. So this one has a cap of 10,000. There are even ones with 20,000 if they're at the lower ground, like this one. And the rocky tiles are pretty bad, especially at the higher mountains. I will call them. Like, the lower rocky tiles have 400 population cap, while the higher ones have 200 only. 300 here in the middle. You see how this goes. So different tiles, different population caps, and there's a different thing when it comes to hate, but we're going to talk about that later. So as I said, the town will grow the population in the tiles it conquers, or not conquers, that are in range to the tile, to the building. And we're only allowed to build buildings on tiles that we own. We own a tile if we have more population in this tile than every other, or in this hex, than every other player. So if we are the only one with a population in that hex, then the tile is ours, and if there is someone else, we have to have more than them. And that allows us now to build a few buildings. So let's do that. We're gonna start with the town over here, because I want to get in this area, because this is pretty juicy. There are pretty good tiles over there, so I want them. So I'm gonna expand as quickly as possible. I'm gonna build a town here to cover as many tiles as possible. So this will do multiple things. It will, well, actually it will only do one thing, but this will have multiple effects. So building this town will grow the population in all the tiles or hexes surrounding the town, and that will make those tiles grow quicker. We can see now by hovering over them, it says plus 200 per turn now, not just 100, because we have 2 towns in range. But it will also give me population on those tiles, which claims those hexes for me, which allows me to build buildings there next turn. So that's pretty good. I'm also gonna build a town somewhere over here, probably, to cover more tiles back here, so we can get more population. Probably gonna build 2. I want those rocky tiles. They're not great, the rocky tiles, but they're better than nothing. Just getting them for free is usually a good idea, or not free, but taking them is still beneficial, I think. So we're gonna build more towns over here to gain a few more units in, or a few more hexes here, and also increase the population gain in the hexes here surrounding my starting town, especially in those two, because these 2 tiles, these fertile tiles, will take a long time until they fill up. So, okay, let's enter turn. You do so by pressing the next turn button. I don't think there's a hotkey for that. We're going to talk about, yeah, hotkeys are, well, let's talk about them now. Hotkeys are a little bit of a problem in this game, especially because they're not rebindable. Can you actually, does it tell them? No, it doesn't. So yeah, it doesn't tell you the hotkeys, and they're not rebindable, and there's a problem with them because you have number hotkeys for those buildings, which makes sense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the different buildings. That's cool, but you scroll the map with the arrow keys and not WASD, which means you either have to move your hand from the number keys to the arrow keys, or I don't know, you have to do one of the two things with the mouse. Actually, comes to when I think about it, my keyboard actually allows me to rebind the arrow keys to WASD if I can remember the key combination. I think it's this one. Ah, great. Okay, good. So I fixed the problem for me, but for people with less fancy keyboards than mine, this is still an issue. So yeah, just like it would be the easiest fix would to just allow scrolling the map with WASD on additionally to the arrow keys. That would be the easiest fix, preferably full rebindable keys. Obviously, that would be great. But yeah, it's a minor mistake, but it's quite annoying, I have to admit. Because having those on the number keys is obviously way more useful than having them to click. Also, you can't cancel a building with escape because that opens the menu. That would be great as well. But, well, okay, if you have the keyboard, it works because you can just press it twice and it will cancel the building. So that works. But if you're doing it with the mouse, it's a little annoying. Okay, anyway, let's continue playing, shall we? We're gonna stick to towns for now because they're the best, the cheapest buildings and the most efficient buildings when it comes to expanding. I might have done a mistake earlier by building so many towns in the starting area, actually, because in the beginning your gold income is very limited. As you can see, I have 8 now. I had 1 last turn because I don't have that many units yet, or population yet. And therefore, yeah, I don't get a lot of money, so I'm pretty stuck with the starting number of towns, basically. So right now we can build 1 more town and then we're out of money. So we're gonna put that there. And then hope for the best. Now we have to wait for a few turns to actually do something again. As you can see, we have 2 enemies on the map. Red and green, and we're in the middle, so we have to fight them both at the same time. Basically, they're going to try to get in here as well, so I'm going to try to populate that before they get there. Let's skip a few turns until I can build another town. Population is growing every turn, obviously, and that gives me more income, but we're still pretty low with 37 per turn. So as you can see, most of those tiles are on max population now. On population, there's a little space left here and lots of space left in those 2 fertile tiles. That's good. And also we have lots of capacity here, which will grow slowly. So we're gonna build another town now. I'm not quite sure where. I might go here. That's probably best for growing, but getting up here is not terrible either. It's good to be on those rocky tiles because they're higher, which is beneficial, but I think for the moment, our priority is get as much population as quickly as possible, and therefore I'm gonna build a town here because that's most grass tiles in range here. So let's do that. Skip a few more turns until I have 200 again, and I'm gonna think if I build another town. I probably do. I could save up money. It probably was a mistake to build those 2 towns back here. Well, then again, they increase the population in those 2 fertile tiles fairly quickly, which is good. But it slowed me down a little bit by getting here, or like expanding here, which is a downside. And green is here already. I'm a little scared. We might get in trouble here fairly quickly. But let's just, let's just claim as much area as possible and hope for the best for the moment. So now it gets interesting because green did build a town here. So what happens now? The town has not only a population growth stat, it also has a population damage stat and a building damage stat. So if any hex in range of the town that has enemy population will lose population according to the stat. So the town kills 50 of my population per turn on any tile or any hex in range. So right now this one and this one. Yeah, these 2. So as you can see, my population growth in this tile is still plus 50 because I get 100 from my city, but I lose 50 from his city or town, and therefore we end up with 50. And that's actually true for both of us, so it's 50-50 for both of us. And I have an advantage here because, well, I started earlier conquering this tile, so this is still my tile. He cannot build something on this hex, but I can. Same goes for this one. But we're in a fight here right now, and I will win this fight if nothing happens, but probably things gonna happen, so I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. I'm still thinking I'm just getting more money by putting another town over here instead of going full attack now. Maybe I should go full attack. I'm not sure. I'm not super experienced at the game yet, so I'm not sure what the best strategy is. But basically, what I do, if I would build a building here, town here now, then those two towns would be in range to each other. And as you could see here, the towns also have a building damage stat and a health stat. So they will deal damage to each other, 25 in that case, and they only have 1 at health. So 4 turns and they will kill each other. So it might be beneficial to build a town here, then the two towns will kill each other. Not sure if I want that. The problem right now is that he is definitely conquering those rock tiles, and that will get me in trouble in a moment. The problem with altitude is that you cannot, like a building cannot affect a hex that is 2 or more altitude units higher than it is. So if I build a town here, then these tiles would be in range, but they will not be affected because they have an altitude of 2 higher than this tile. So that's definitely important to keep in mind. And that's true for buildings and everything. So you cannot damage buildings that are way higher up than yours, stuff like that. So that's important. I'm still thinking of just going over here with the town to gain influence on those hexes as well, and then just hope to keep the income coming in. I have more income than green right now, so problem is that red will get over here at one point as well. But I think I'm just trying to get the long game going, long run. Keep the whatever. Going for the long-term goal by getting more population here and hope that green is not screwing me over too much in the next few turns. Red is getting in here as well though, so that's definitely a problem. So now I have 200 again. I could save up for something bigger. So those other buildings, they're more expensive, but they also have different stats. So, for example, they all have more health, 500, 1,000, and the castle even has 5,000 health. The camp has 3 range, which is super useful, but its population growth is only 10. So it's not great for populating things. It's also not great for damaging buildings. It only deals 25 damage as the town. In comparison, the tower deals 250 building damage and the castle 100. So it's not great at destroying buildings or growing population, but it has 200 population damage on a range of 3, which is pretty crazy for pushing your enemy. Pretty good for pushing your opponent back. The tower is basically the building destroyer. It also has a range of 2, deals a lot of building damage, but only very little population damage. And the castle has a very small range, but is super strong with 5,000 health, 500 population growth, 50 population damage, which is okay, but not great, and 100 building damage especially, which is, the population growth is obviously the best thing here, but the really high amount of health is also very, very useful. So, yeah, but they're more expensive, and I'm not sure if it's worth right now to save for them. I could, I guess. Maybe I should. Maybe I should save up for a better building to get a beneficial trade here. But I could do this, but we would just trade towns here. They would destroy each other, which would push him back, which is not bad for me. But then again, the tiles we're fighting over, I'm winning already. So I think I'm gonna save up and see what he does. Like, if he reacts, then we could, okay, I could now, I have 400 gold now, so I could build 2 towns at the same time now, which would allow me to win the battle if I would both put them there. That might be a good option. Yeah, let's actually do that. I don't want to wait for 500. Actually, I could, but not sure. Not sure. I could put a camp here. That would be pretty useful. Yeah, having a camp here is probably better. Let's wait for next turn. Okay, red is attacking now though, so yeah, but still, I'm still just gonna put that here. Or I could go for red actually, that would work as well. I'm in a better position here because I'm further away, but then again, green might come for me, so it's definitely an issue. Not sure which front do I want to fight on. Let's go here. That's probably good. Actually, no, this is bad because it doesn't affect those 2 hexes. And if I go here, I can deal a lot of damage to a lot of his hexes, which will kill his income a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. So we put this here. This will deal damage to the town. Not much, but it will destroy it in 4 turns anyway because it deals 25 building damage. And it will decrease the population of those hexes, which is really good. You see the prediction, by the way, in the animation, which is very useful as well. Okay, so let's do that. Having space for end turn or for next turn would be a great key binding as well, by the way, so that would be fantastic. So we wait a few turns until we can do something again. Okay, now I have 300 gold, could build another town. So this one will fall next turn. It doesn't seem like green is doing anything about that. You can see all the stats all the time, by the way. You see the current population and income here for all the players. Then you can see the number of tiles under controls and tiles needed for victory here. Oh, actually, okay, I was wrong at the beginning. So the 1 at 90 is not the amount of tiles in total. That's the number of tiles you have to control to win the game. And I think there are over 200 on this map. And you can see the current population, max population over here. So how much potential there is for players to fill up their population capacity. Okay, so I could build a town now. I could build a town here, for example, to fight back red. But then again, that will just be a trade-off. So I'm not going to do that. Green is in trouble here for this turn anyway. I'm not going to build something now when I can do that next turn. So I wait for this town to be destroyed. The town goes back, and I instantly got control over those tiles because the camp started increasing my population on those hexes, which now gave me control of them. So I could now build a town here, for example. That might not be a terrible idea. You can take a look at the animation. Like there's this little these stripes. They show me that I will gain control over this tile next turn, and also shows me if I do this here, then it will also show me that I will gain control over those tiles next turn. Actually, does it? No, it doesn't. Wait, never mind. Forgot what I said. Never mind. Okay, anyway, so yeah, I could build a town here, or I could wait more turns. I think I'm gonna wait more turns and build them further over here. Actually, no, because that's in range of that town. That would be terrible. Because, as I said earlier, like this town is two units higher than this one. And that would allow this town to destroy mine without mine fighting back. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna build a town over here to seize control on those tiles. Or I could push back red, but I don't really see point in that right now. Let's push back green a little bit and wait for more gold. So we could also obviously go back over around here and try to fall in their backs, but it's pretty hard. Like these tiles are like they're not really beneficial to conquer, so that's basically pretty high investment to go over here, and then it still doesn't guarantee you get in here. Like you can attack this, and it's pretty beneficial of getting it, but to get it, because there are three fertile tiles in here. But still, I'm not sure if that's a good strategy right now. I think it's better to just hold on this area here. So yeah, as I said, I could build towns here now, but that's not a great. Well, actually, I can build one here. That's not terrible. I could do that. Or I build a tower there. That would be better. Yeah, I'm gonna save on money and see if green reacts. Not so far. Okay. So I could build a tower here now, which would destroy this town. I'm a little scared that red is gonna do something next soonish. How much? He's gonna get enough gold for another town next turn. I would like to push him back, but I think I want to push back green first. So build a tower here. And now you will see the tower dealing a lot of damage to the town. Wait, that was more damage than I thought it would deal. Oh no, right. Yeah, it destroys a town in one go. Right. No, that's completely correct. Oh yeah, that was camps that I had in mind. Yeah, it takes 2 turns to destroy a camp, but it destroys a town in 1 turn. So that's pretty good now. It will, like, it only has a population growth. Well, it has a population growth of 100, which is okay, but only have a population damage of 50, which is not that much. I mean, still, in comparison to a town, basically the same sets as a town, just deals more damage. So it's okay. So we're gonna get those tiles eventually. Actually, not. He has a camp over here. Well, I'm gonna get those tiles anyway, so that's good for me. Okay. This front is pretty okay so far. So thinking about attacking red now, but I'm gonna go for the same strategy here. I'm waiting for enough gold to get a camp. He's building towns there to get more population, apparently. And he's gonna go over here to attack me from the back. That's not great. That's not great. Gonna have to stop that eventually, but not right now. So now you can see those camps, those hexes are actually neutral, and they stay neutral because those 2 buildings destroy all the populations, all the population that can be built there right now. I could now build, for example, another town here, and that would still not be enough to gain control over those, so that's not super useful. I could build a castle here to increase my influence here, but I think I'd rather fight back red a little bit. So I'm gonna build a camp here, probably. Actually, I'm not sure. I could just build it here or here. I'm not going to get that rock tile, but like there's no benefit in going closer to them because I'm not going to get up there anyway. So rather not get in range too much. Thanks. I think I'm going to go here. That seems like a good spot. Yeah, let's build a camp here. Let's see if he reacts. He spent money though to move here, so he might be a little short right now. He's not gonna do my. He's expanding more here. Okay, so he's giving up this front, but he's gonna try to attack me here, and I might want to stop that from happening eventually. But for now, that gives me some time, and time is what I need right now. So I take that gladly. So town is destroyed. I could now start seizing this tile. Could build a tile to gain control over this one so I can attack the town. Or I could just build a camp here, which outranges the town. Yeah, let's do that. He's not gonna build anything really dangerous to me anytime soon because he only can build another town in like 2 turns or something, which was not a problem for my camp. So yeah, why not? Let's try this. See what happens. Okay, so far it's looking pretty good for me. Could now start building things here to push them back, or at least hold the tile. Not sure. He's building lots of towns here. He wants to increase his population apparently. Pushing back here is not really beneficial though. What's the point in doing that? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna wait a little longer for this town to being destroyed, and then I move forward here. So now I have lots of gold, and I can now build a camp here, for example. Not sure if that's a great idea though. I mean, it deals damage to his population, which is great, but besides that, it's not doing much. Tower is not going to be in range. Nothing I build is going to be in range of that camp. I mean, I can build a few towns and try to gain control over these hexes. Like 3 towns here would give me control here. Keep in mind, this deals 200 damage to both of those tiles. So I need more than 200 population growth. Actually, never mind, again, two towns are enough because the camp gives me population growth as well. So that would allow me to advance here. It's a little trickier here because he has a camp here. I mean, actually I could do the same. I could build 2 towns here and attack green. That would work as well. Red or green? Red or green? Red or green? Who's more dangerous right now? Green is more dangerous. So let's build 2 towns here. And gain control over those hexes next turn. Okay, so red is approaching even further, but so far he's not attacking the tiles I have right now, so I'm not too worried. If he builds another town, okay, then I'm gonna fight back. But so far, I'm just gonna wait for this. I could build a camp though, there. Maybe I'm gonna do that. Could do that now. It would not be bad. Like, it would destroy his town and keep my borders clear for a moment. If I don't do that, what can he do? He can build a town here. That will deal a lot of damage to all my population, and will be trouble to fight back, and it will force me to fight back. So I prefer fighting back this town. I think that's the more effective approach. It slows down my attack here, but that's okay. Doesn't seem like green is fighting back right now anyway. So okay, dip. Looks good. I'm gonna get this tile next turn, which allows me to get a tower there, which will allow me to destroy the camp. That seems like a good strategy. Don't have the money yet, though. Right, I'm not actually getting this tile, aren't I? No, because I only have 200 population growth there, so this is 0. So actually, the animation here is wrong, because it shows me that I gain control over this tile next turn, but I don't. That's unfortunate. How to approach here? That's the question. I mean, I could just build a camp here and trade. Now, it's not a terrible strategy. Or I could build a camp and a town. That's probably more effective. Actually, no, I don't get a town in range. So I could go for a castle and just get closer and then build a tower next turn. That would work. That would be one approach. Or I just go for a camp and trade. Or double camp. That would work as well. Or you build towns. You can actually just build a town, for example. That's a possible approach as well. Build a town, gain control over that tile, and build a tower on the next turn. And the town will get destroyed eventually, but it will be there for long enough to gain control over this tile. That's probably the most effective strategy, actually. Let's try that. That seems like a good approach. So we need 700 next turn. We have that. So I can build a town now here. This will take damage now from the camp. But it allows me to build a tower here, which will destroy the camp in 2 turns. And that even means that my town will survive. There we go. There we go. Outsmarted. Haha. Okay, I think I can stop playing now. I think you got the idea. The game is pretty cool. There will be more buildings later on. There's a lot of strategy to be found here. The campaign gets more challenging the further you go. Like this mission, definitely, it was not super hard, but it definitely was challenging when I played it the first time. Let's actually leave this really quick, and I'm going to show you what there is available. There's a lot of different approaches and strategies available and stuff like that. So you can see there's room for lots of more missions in the campaign. This was only mission 5. In mission 6, there are neutral camps as well, which will fight back if you attack them. But if you don't, they will just do, well, their thing, basically. The unfortunate thing is there's a difficulty thingy down here, but it only affects how much resources the AI gets. So basically, changing this from normal to something else makes either you or the AI cheat. So if you put it on strategist, I think the AI gets 2 times the currency and conquest points, which is currency per conquest points. So they get double the money, which is not a fun way to do well, difficulty in my opinion, so I prefer keeping it normal. But as I said, like the first 2 levels were pretty easy, but the 5th level definitely was challenging, and I expect the 6th one and the later ones to be even more challenging, even on normal difficulty. But if you want to go for the really crazy difficulty approach, you just increase this to strategist and let the AI cheat and try to beat it then. So there's lots of things you can do in the single player campaign, so that's pretty cool. As I said, there are more buildings later on and stuff like that, and more new mechanics like neutral buildings and stuff like that, so that's all cool. Unfortunately, as I mentioned at the beginning, no online multiplayer whatsoever. That's really pain in the ass. There's skirmish against AI or against other players in hot seat mode. You can choose the map and stuff like that. There's even a map editor and stuff like that where you can build your own map if you want to, and I think there's workshop support as well, so you can download maps of other players as well. So that's all neat and done. Wrong button. Exit. I think there was workshop support. Let's make sure I'm not talking out of my ass, but I remember there being workshop support. Load. No, not load game. Return. Custom map. Yeah, Bros Workshop. There we go. So there's workshop support as well. So that's good. I mean, if you want to play this with a friend over the internet, you can use like one of those LAN simulator programs, but that's obviously more a workaround than a solution to this. This is definitely a game you could play with friends or just with randoms online. Like, this would even be a game you could play asynchronously. Like, that would be great. Play per email. That would be amazing for this game, I think. That would be really, really cool. You could have multiple open games at the same time, and you take a turn, and then your opponent gets notified, and there's a turn limit of, like, which you can choose, like, either a few hours or a few days or whatever, or no limit whatsoever. You could have multiple games at the same time. You could have a ranking system. There could be so much, but I understand that developing online multiplayer is effort. It's challenging and it's effort, especially for a small indie studio. I assume this is probably done by one person, and then, yeah, online multiplayer is not just switching a button. There has to be put work into it and effort, and therefore I understand that it's not there, but it's also a shame, because the game would definitely benefit from it. Anyway, I enjoyed the single player so far, so I'm definitely going to play a little more of that. The settings menu is pretty good as well, except for the missing keybinds and no borderless window mode, which is a shame, but we have a bunch of graphic options here, resolutions and stuff like that. We have multiple audio sliders. We can switch to French, because I assume the developer is French, and you can change how it auto-saves, which is good as well. But as I said, rebindable key bindings would be amazing, especially allowing WASD for map scrolling and space for next turn or something along those lines. That would be great. Besides that, the game works very well from a technical point of view. It doesn't look great, obviously. It's pretty, well, abstract, I guess, but it's fun to play. So yeah, it's called Radiis. Links in the description below. It's gonna release on the 19th of July. I'm Pion. Thanks a lot for watching. Have fun and see you next time.